This episode of Destructoid is brought to you by Netflix. On today's Destructoid show, we've got a great list of downloadable things headed your way. Metal Gear Rising is back with Revengeance, and we're giving away another free Xbox right now on Destructoid.
Welcome to Destructoid. I'm Tara Long.
And I'm Max Scoville.
Happy Jonathan Holmes' 35th birthday, everyone!
It is Jonathan Holmes' 35th birthday.
It is.
And we love him. Happy birthday, Holmesy. We missed the shit out of you.
Seems like only yesterday he was here, sitting across from me.
That wasn't yesterday. That was a long time ago. That was months ago.
Are you sure?
Yes, that was almost a year ago.
All right. Well,
anyway,
let's move
last
on
episode we talked about an email exchange that went on between Gabe Newell and the members of 4chan regarding what Valve has in store for everyone at E3 in 2012. This led us to discussing what Valve's next game might be. Now, apparently that email exchange was fake, and the fact that we reported on it and speculated about what the next Valve title is, well, apparently that means we're horrible journalists. Guys, in 2009, a couple reported that their 6-year-old son had accidentally floated away in a giant helium balloon shaped like a UFO. During this debacle, authorities had to shut down the Denver airport and the National Guard got called in. All of this in the midst of a media circus. The kid wasn't actually in the balloon, and it turned out it was all a publicity stunt anyway. The point of my story is that was national news. That was national news. We have an internet show about video games. We predominantly report on PR materials and things we find on the internet, and sometimes that turns out to be inaccurate. So, guess what? We're not the only outlet that does this, so chill the fuck out. Video games are fun. You don't need to take them so seriously. It's really, we're trying to be good journalists. We're just get out of here.
I need to borrow this.
So, journalism.
That was weird. Okay, let's get started with this thing then. The most exciting time of the year for games might be over, but that doesn't mean there's nothing to salivate over the next few months. Xbox, PSN, Steam, and the 3DS all have great stuff in store, starting with the Xbox Live YouTube app, which you may have noticed has finally found its way to the dashboard. Of course, the real news here is that you can now watch your favorite video game news program, The Destructoid Show, starring Max and Tara, on your Xbox. The YouTube app lets you access your subscriptions, favorites, and playlists. But oddly, it looks like the comments section hasn't been implemented quite yet, which is a shame because how else are we going to know who has taken an arrow to the knee, Max?
One, I really hope that meme would take an arrow to the knee, and two, the only way YouTube comments could be more hateful is if they were on Xbox Live. So,
yeah,
there you go.
Wonderful. I hope they never put it in there then. Apart from that, there's a whole slew of other apps available on Xbox Live now, depending on what country you're in. If you're interested, you can visit Destructoid.com for the full list. I'm not going to go through it here, but there's some MSNBC is in there or something. I don't know. While we're on the subject of the Xbox, though, we got word of some upcoming downloadable games you guys might be interested in. First up, Capcom announced their Capcom Digital Collection due out next spring. It'll cost $40 and includes 8 XBLA games, stuff like Bionic Commando Rearmed 2, Final Fight Double Impact, Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo HD Remix, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo HD Remix, and Wolf of the Battlefield Commando 3. Wow. It's a decent enough list, but I do think they could have squeezed a few more words into each title. They don't sound long enough.
I think I might hold out for the ultimate turbo, triple, third strike edition of that. But
Reloaded. Wait for Reloaded.
Of course.
Always a good one. Now, Half-Brick just released some free Christmas DLC for Fruit Ninja that lets you slice fruit and other special holiday treats with a candy cane blade. There it is. Well, not there it is. Yeah, you go.
That's
you can
festive.
also turn yourself into a human snow globe, as you see. It's cute, and it's free, and there's a good chance it'll keep your kids off drugs.
And if they're on drugs, they'll probably like it. Look at that game.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
Last but not least, Duke Nukem Forever has some new DLC up on XBLA and PSN right now. The Doctor Who Cloned Me is priced at $9.99 right now and includes 4 extra multiplayer maps and a new single-player campaign in which Duke faces off against Dr. Proton, a mad scientist intent on taking over the world with an army full of evil clones. You know how the story goes. Let's check in with our official Duke Nukem correspondent and see what he has to say about this, Max.
I hate myself a lot because honestly there's a stupid 5th grader that lives inside my brain, and whenever you say anything about Duke Nukem, he gets really excited.
Yeah.
And honestly, I swear to God, I feel like one of those drunk girls at a party, you know, and she suddenly misses her abusive ex-boyfriend even though he's an asshole. Duke Nukem Forever was a pile of nightmare shit, but part of me still is just like, I just want to call him. I miss the sound of his voice when he talked about his balls of steel. Maybe he's changed. And I'm stupid. It's dumb.
Yeah.
I'm so angry at myself for caring about Duke Nukem
Don't give in,
still.
Max. Don't give in. Stay strong.
Oh, God. Anyway, on Monday's show, we talked about Command & Conquer Generals 2, the new PC-only RTS from BioWare that was revealed at the past weekend's VGAs. Turns out that's not the only CNC title EA has up their sleeve, as today they've revealed Command & Conquer Tiberium Alliances.
Sounds so sexy.
Ooh, my, yes. It is a browser-based MMO, but don't expect any major genre changes. Judging from the trailer and screenshots they've released, it is still a real-time strategy game. Just expect a bunch of social elements and all that BS that goes along with persistent play. The game is being developed by EA Theomic, the German development house that worked on Lord of Ultima, another browser-based MMO. Honestly, I think it looks pretty underwhelming, but, you know, I'm interested to see how the game plays out. In addition to being playable in browsers, they're also saying that it'll be available on mobile devices, although it's unclear if that'll be the full game or just some stats app or something frivolous like that. But really, EA, if you're interested in getting people talking about the Command & Conquer franchise before Generals 2 comes out, take a cue from Mr. Tony Hawk and just re-release Red Alert for the browser, because I would play that shit just for the live-action cutscenes. Anyway, there's no release date yet, but the closed beta starts tomorrow, so go sign up at TiberiumAlliances.com if you're interested. Now, as much as I want to write off the free-to-play browser games, I like what Google's doing with their native client, and I'm curious to see what we can do in the browsers.
Yeah, they I checked out their web store a while back. They've got some cool stuff in there, like games-wise, not just Angry Birds, like stuff that's a little bit more complex than that. And I'd recommend you check it out just to satisfy your curiosity. But yeah. Now, in addition to the console games I listed earlier, there's also some cool stuff headed to the PC and the 3DS in the coming months. Remedy Entertainment just confirmed that Alan Wake is going to be headed to the PC sometime in early to mid 2012. This is not to be confused with Alan Wake's American Nightmare, which is the upcoming XBLA title I told you guys about on Monday's show. This is just the 2010 original Alan Wake game that you probably know and love. And the PC version is going to come with the Signal and the Rider DLC packs already included, so there's that. Now, if you don't have friends or family to buy gifts for this holiday, well, A, you should get some, and B, don't feel sad because you can buy yourself the Humble Indie Bundle 4 at humblebundle.com right now and totally feel good about it afterward because it's pay what you want and the proceeds go to charity. That comes pre-packed with 7 games, all of which are excellent, totally DRM-free, and compatible on any Windows, Mac, or Linux computer. Very cool. Now, 3DS owners, I'm one of you now, and rest assured I have not forgotten about my brethren. This Friday, December 16th, 3DS ambassadors will finally get those 10 Game Boy Advance games they were promised way back when, earlier this year. I'm not going to go through the full list because it's been, out there for months now. But you can check it out on Destructoid.com.
The important thing is that it has The Legend of Zelda: The Minish Cap, which is the most underrated Zelda game, period, and everyone should go play it.
They've got actually a halfway decent list on there.
I hope so, for those people who paid ungodly amounts of money for the 3DS. Anyway, as I know a lot of people are well aware, the Star Wars The Old Republic early access has begun for people who pre-ordered the game. And this morning, Destructoid's Jim Sterling posted an MS Paint picture of his character named Vader Fett, who is secretly Han Solo's brother and has bigger muscles and is a better pilot.
He looks like you.
Yeah, I wish. Anyway, the point of my story is I'm a pretty big Star Wars nerd, but I think I'm going to pass on this one. I'm not really feeling it so much, but a bunch of Destructoid editors are playing it, and they seem to be really enjoying it. So let us know if you want to hear more about it, and we can figure out something to put on the show. In the meantime, most of them seem to be playing on the Dark Reaper server, so if you want to fight with some Detoiders, go check that out.
Yeah, I might get in there.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, I was thinking about it. A lot of people are playing it, and I've actually heard pretty positive things so far, so we'll see.
You sure you can keep up with all the Star Wars lore?
I don't know about that. It might be hard to catch on.
Well, why don't we take a word from our sponsor, Tara?
Let's do that. Now, if you're watching this show, then chances are you own at least one console, and if that's the case, then it's time to throw that ancient cable box out the window and get on board with Netflix. It streams TV episodes and movies straight to your PC, Mac, PS3, Xbox 360, and Nintendo Wii, saving you time, hassle, and an $80 a month cable bill. For a limited time, Netflix is offering Destructoid viewers a free 15-day trial. Simply head on over to netflix.com/Destructoid and sign up. It supports the show, and you get cool stuff in the process. Win-win.
Shazam!
Right?
Anyway, on Monday we talked a little bit about the new Metal Gear game, Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. and the trailer that debuted at the VGAs to mixed reaction. Yesterday, Konami held a little press event for the game and had a brief Q&A session with Hideo Kojima, the creator of Metal Gear, and Atsushi Inaba from Platinum Games, who's the game's producer. As we mentioned previously, the version of Metal Gear Rising that was originally shown off during E3 2009 was scrapped. Kojima explained that he'd been more focused on Peace Walker at the time and had left Rising in the hands of a younger development team. Now, apparently during the summer of 2010, Kojima looked at how far along the game was and wasn't happy with it. Now, of course, after that much development time, there were a ton of assets. They'd done mocap and, we'd seen the game in action, so scrapping it would be something of a waste. So Kojima got in touch with Platinum Games because he felt they were most up to task. Now, the highlight of the interview, for me at least, was when Kojima was asked if he'd considered working with any Western developers, and he explained that, and I quote, "The katana is one of our main concepts in this game, which is something very difficult to explain. At that point, I thought I needed a Japanese company. There are many great production teams from North America, but I thought that if I took the project to them, it would come back and there'd be no katana. Instead, there would be a gun with a chainsaw or something." You crazy for this one, Hideo? Shaboy! I love this guy. Your move, Cliffy B. Anyway, Metal Gear Rising Revengeance seems to be a really dividing property. Some people are excited for it, and others think Kojima's running the stealthy franchise into the ground with a goofy action game. Kojima expressed this issue on Twitter, saying that fans who want an authentic stealth-based Metal Gear title shouldn't be worried, and that there will be a sequel in the future. Of course, he didn't say if it would be officially Metal Gear Solid 5, and knowing Kojima, we might be waiting a while, but at least we know Rising isn't the end for now. Now, if you guys want to get up to date with what he's been doing, there's a great 20-minute documentary about Rising, including a bunch of interviews with Kojima and the other devs. In the video, he mentions that the Metal Gear team wrapped development of MGS4 in 2008 and immediately started kicking around ideas for a fifth game. One possible story involved the boss and the Cobra unit during the invasion of Normandy. He had his hands full at the time with Peace Walker, and his ideas were passed on to the development team. Unfortunately, they weren't quite up to the task of producing full-scale Metal Gear title without Kojima's direct involvement, and that's what led to Metal Gear Rising, and it doesn't sound like they really knocked that one out of the park either. Anyway, World War II Metal Gear Solid might never happen, but I think that would be a really cool thing. Like, imagine the scene in Saving Private Ryan, but with giant robots. You could have, like, Metal Gear Reich, just like Nazis and robots. It'd be kind of...
He's got very soft hands, I noticed in the video.
Wow.
I'm sorry, that was literally the most original thing I could say in response to the story.
She's not a Metal Gear fan.
Yeah.
Kojima has soft hands.
I notice these types of things. Anyway, quick reminder, we are currently in the midst of our contest to win one of these sweet limited edition Halo Reach Xbox 360 medals. Look how sexy that is. Along with one of 3 copies of Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary. If you want that Xbox to be yours, just draw your favorite moment from Halo Combat Evolved. Use colored pencils, markers, Photoshop, human blood, whatever, and include either Mr. Destructoid, Max, or myself in it somehow. Doesn't have to make sense, just put us in there. And then email your submission to cookies@destructoid.com by 11:59 p.m. Pacific time this Sunday, December 18th. We're gonna pick a winner and then announce it on Monday's show. You guys, this contest is open to US-based addresses only, I'm sorry. But those are the contest rules set forth by Microsoft, not us. They are the ones shipping the packages out. So stop complaining or I'm gonna cancel Christmas.
Yeah, and don't bitch about how you don't know how to draw. Just draw us a picture. Like, anyone can draw. Just
creativity over drawing skills.
Yeah.
All the way.
Okay, so Monday night, Destructoid community member, community shark guy. I don't know what the hell Hamza does. He was the guy grabbing the dildo earlier. But we went and checked out the PlayStation Vita, and we played a whole bunch of games, including Escape Plan, Touch My Katamari, and the new Resistance game. We also talked to some people, and I was wearing a tie. Anyway, the point of my story is you should go watch our video, which is posted separately on our channel. If you had subscribed already, you would know this, but the Vita's cool, and we talk about it. So
yeah, I don't plan on watching that video, but I'm curious. How is Katamari?
You can squeeze the Katamari and you can touch it all over, and it's called Touch My Katamari.
Is it use the accelerometer or?
No, it's touchscreen mostly. Yeah, touchscreen and joysticks. But anyway, go watch the video.
Okay, all right, I'll watch the video. One last thing before we go. I am both sad and happy to report that this coming Friday will be our last live show of 2011. Sad because, our Friday live shows are like the best part of my week. But I'm also happy because 2011 can suck a nut as far as I'm concerned. What? So that will be our last one of this year. We're gonna be out on the 30th, but the 23rd, we're gonna have a special episode for you guys. It just won't be live or anything. And then next year, we'll be back to our normal schedule back in January. Now, this means that we will have to do something extra crazy for our Friday live show, Max. We haven't figured out what it is yet, but spoiler alert, it will not involve us taking our clothes off or showing our tits or any other part of our body.
Wiggling our genitals about all nilly-willy.
That may happen, but definitely no tits. So feel free to leave your suggestions in the comments so that we may read them and then promptly reject them.
If you guys have some cool ideas, I'd be down. Whatever.
Yeah, nobody will. As always, we're going to be broadcasting here on youtube.com/dtoid and revision3.com/watch live at 3:30 p.m. Pacific time, sharp. So please tune in for that. I promise you guys it'll be fun no matter what we end up doing. In the meantime, you can also follow us on Twitter, where we sometimes tweet out codes and other lovely things. That is at dtoid show. I am Tara Longest, and he is Max Scoville, and we are out. We will see you guys back here on Friday.
Goodbye, my friends. We'll see you soon.